record. So as I was saying, if you guys have never heard that Mark Hughes audio, I highly recommend you have it on your favorites. It is an audio that will put us to work. You know, before you guys logged on, there was only like 2 of us on the line, and he was telling people, like, you want to get to president's team? Write this down. 5 frontline supervisors a month. You know, you want to get to president's team in the next year? 5 frontline supervisors a month. It is the mental giant, something giant on YouTube. Okay. So we'll put it on the chats in a minute, but that audio is ridiculous. I've heard it, I don't know how many times. Whenever I clean my house, I have it in the background. The mental giant. Thank you, Carmen. All right, guys. So first and foremost, welcome. I'm going to add the spotlight here with my lovely co-host today. We have a very special and different kind of call today. So for those of you guys who have been part of this since the beginning, I want to take a moment, and I want you to take a moment to take a deep breath and be like, OMG, we are halfway, almost, okay, halfway through our Royalty Academy commitment. And if you have been on here every single week, I want you to type in a 1, like you are number 1, okay? So I want you to recognize yourself for being part of this academy every single week. All right, now I'm not going to ask you unless you want to, if you've done the homework every single week. I want you to give yourself a 10, 1-0, right? A 10 if you've done the homework every single week. And so if that's you, I want you to know we acknowledge you. I want you to know that we salute you, because at the end of the day, if you didn't hear, if you're logging in late, because we can see who comes in, okay? You missed the audio with Mark Hughes, and he said this. Put this in your notes. When you are put in control, take charge. So it is so perfect for this call because you have been selected. I want you to really get this. You were selected to be part of this Royalty Academy, and you accepted. Because let me tell you something. We reached out to other people that were that qualified, and not everybody said yes, but you did. So that just tells us that you are committed to your business. So we are committed to you, okay? So when you're put in control of anything, you're put in control of your life, you're put in control of your business, you're put in control of anything, take charge, the man Mark Hughes said, okay? And then the second thing he said, well, I wanted him to say, when you don't know, figure it out. I'm going to put that one in there, okay? You don't know, Google it, okay? You don't know, figure it out. But also, when you're faced with you don't know what to do, just do the right thing. And I just got to tell you, you know, that's exactly what these calls have been for me. It has been really taking control, being in charge of your business. So we wanted to do something a little different today because we're at the midpoint of the academy. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Miss Carmen Mireles.
Hey guys, thank you, Karla. So our intention, all of you, like Karla just mentioned, right? Like you were chosen, you were selected, but I think one of the things we really want to make sure that we're paying attention and listening to all of you. So with everything that you've been receiving the last couple of weeks, my question to all of you is like, how are you doing? Are you putting into action what you've been, learning? And what are your roadblocks? What are your challenges? What are some of the things that you're coming across that we can support you with? Because I think, this is something I told Karla, I'm like, we can be providing content all along, but if there's roadblocks and you're not asking, we're going to be missing a big point, right? So that's my challenge to you. And also, because this is a leadership group, I'm going to tell you, like, own your voice. Don't be shy. There's never a dumb question. There's never a question that you think I can't ask that. Like, ask, because I think this is the opportunity. And one of the things I know Karla and I and all the TAP team members are super committed to helping you grow and providing you as many solutions as possible. So What are your roadblocks? What have you been applying? What are your challenges? What are your obstacles that you're running into so we can help support you?
And I want to add one more thing. I want you to know there's no judgment. Okay. I will tell you, okay, there was a time that I was at a Future Presidents Team retreat in Palm Springs, California. And I raised my hand. Raquel Cortez, Chairman's Club member, was like, it was a private meeting. I raised my hand and I asked a question, and a lot of people laughed. That not cool. Don't ever do that. Number one. Okay. But, you know, being me, I turned around and I'm like, oh, so you guys are laughing at my question, but yet I'm the only one asking, which therefore tells Raquel that I'm the one that's eager to learn. And everybody stayed quiet. 3 months later, I made my cuts to press team because of the answer she gave me. So why I'm sharing that with you is because number one, no one's going to laugh. Okay, everyone's on mute, first of all. Okay, but even if we were, we wouldn't do that. And second of all, that just goes to show you that sometimes the most obvious question is what can be that thing that takes you over the hump. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you because I feel a lot of times people are like, I don't want to ask. There's no judgment at all. Okay, so if you guys have a question, please go ahead and unmute yourselves, and we will and if you want any of us to answer or anybody here that you have something to contribute, please unmute yourself and say, hey, I've been there, this is how I resolved it, or whatever. So does anybody have a question or something that they're stuck with, or something you want to ask?
Tova has one. Go for it, Tova.
Go ahead.
So my roadblock, I typed it in the chat. My roadblock is finding the new. You know how you say, I hear all the time, new solves everything. So I know this has kind of been my challenge from the beginning, but even more so now. You know, I'm gone for 10 hours of the day and I'm either here or I'm at home. So my thing is interacting or building relationships, obviously right now through social media, is what I'm finding my roadblock.
Does anybody, and you know, everybody has the ability to chime in, okay? Because something that we shared yesterday is Karla and I are not the know-all be-all, because we just have probably had more roadblocks that we've jumped. So this is something that, you know, I know Karla, you mentioned yesterday, and I don't know if you want to share it or I'll just go, but it's just, you know, Karla said something that would just to me hit home, because I'm like, we have to see ourselves as a business, right? And so what is your publicity strategy, or what is your advertising plan to get new? And, you know, social media definitely is one of them. But I remember, like, you know, for example, I had a nutrition club, and we had one of the guys, and we would pay him, you know, a shake and his consumption. And his job was to put out 50 flyers in the cars. And, you know, Karla can share a couple other ideas that she's done, but it's like, there has to be like a plan of action for publicity and advertising, aside from what maybe you feel, because sometimes, and the other question I'm going to ask you is, are you really sending enough messages, or are you really adding new? Because sometimes in social media, you can get caught in spending a lot of times in spinning your wheels. And this, I'm saying this to myself, because when we're in Power Hour, I will get distracted. And so it's like, becoming really aware of how intentional are you to adding those new leads, new follows. And then I would just say, like, are you adding other funnels for that advertising strategy?
Okay. So one of the things that I was mentioning yesterday and this goes to everybody, I want you to ask yourself, and maybe even write this question down. Am I treating my business like a business? Like, you really got to ask I had to ask myself that recently. Am I really treating my business like a business? Because here's the thing, right? If you were to go to a restaurant tomorrow, any of you, okay, have been exposed, if you've been in this business for more than before COVID, and you've gone to a live training of some Herbalife sort, okay, you've been exposed to really good training. And one of the things that we always talk about is, what is your DMO? What is your daily method of operation? And I don't know why, and I have fallen into this too, okay? So I'm guilty, is that we look at this business as Herbalife business, and we look at it like it's this thing, okay? And we don't look at it like a business. So if you were to go to, for example, a pizza shop, and you're talking to one of the pizza owners and they're like, oh, how's everything going? And he or she's like, I just, I don't know, people don't know about me, whatever. And they start saying how sales are low. I bet every single one of you will start asking John, hey, John, so what are you doing to let people know that you're here? What advertising strategy or what are you doing? I know this is a little old school, okay, but are you doing, TV ads? Are you doing radio ads? I know those are old, okay, but you would start asking those questions. Are you doing email advertisement? Are you putting out door hangers? Are you putting, and you would start giving this business owner all these ideas. But for whatever reason, we don't treat ourselves like that. And one of the reasons why I want you to ask yourself the second question. So the first question is, am I treating this business like a business? You need to really ask yourself that. And the second question I want you to ask yourself is, why am I not investing in my advertising / marketing? So there is a book called the 10X Rule. If you have never read this book, okay, you feel like, I don't like to read. Okay, listen, there's an Audible, okay? It's $14. It will be the best $14 or $12, whatever it is, that you will ever invest in yourself. And this book will tell you that if you are not getting haters, if you're not getting people to tell you stop, then you're not advertising enough. You're not putting your name out there enough. Okay, so Sergio, my husband, used to always tell people, if you don't see your flyer or your business card on the floor, you haven't done enough. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about that. And all of us, I mean, I'm talking to myself, okay? Why are we not willing to do a $20 advertisement for Facebook? Why are we not doing it? Yes, it's organic, but would you tell the business, the pizza shop, well, you should just pray and I'm Catholic, okay? Light the candles and tell the saints to bring you business. You wouldn't. You would tell that business owner, babe, you should do something to let people know. You put a flag, you do this, and all that is money, and it's tax deductible. So I want you to really ask yourself those two questions. Like, am I really treating this business like a business? And for those of you who are tab team, especially meal team, are you putting some money aside to have your business grow? Are you investing a certain percentage of your income to give back in promotion items, in advertisement? I mean, really, you got to look at that, right? So, and I say that because I think I'm guilty of it, and I'll tell you, Naida doesn't know this. I don't know if she knows this, but she's qualified meal team. And how I found her was because at that moment, right around this time, I was paying someone to help me with my social media. And so I was investing in my business. And guess what? Of course, I then had to work the leads. I now have a brand new meal team member and an organization here in Whittier. What if I hadn't invested those $300 for 3 consecutive months? I don't know. Maybe I would have met her or met somebody else. I don't know. But you got to think that way. The return on your investment, especially in this business, is huge.
And then, I want to add something. And Delphina, I know she's a pro at this. So if you want to add to this, is just, I know for me, like, for example, I would get flyers, I would get contacts, I would get leads. I would just let them be. And then I would either not follow up with them, or I didn't have a place to store them or collect that data, right? It's like, we're going to collect the leads and then have a place so that you can, recommunicate. How many times do you go shopping, you put something in your cart in the store and they're like constantly messaging you, right? And for whatever reason, we don't do that. Once we get the lead, they say no to us and then we stop messaging them forever. So I don't know if you want to add.
I love how Karla brought up the 10X rules, because honestly, guys, whatever we have been doing for the last 90 days, especially if you're solely running your business on social media, I am, and I guarantee you can't succeed just on social media, right? But definitely having different daily methods of operation, but running it through social media. So, but what I want to bring up the 10X rule again is whatever we've been doing for the last 90 days or the last 6 months, now we got to 10X it. Because it's the last quarter of the year, there's a lot of distraction. People don't want to lose weight. People want to spend Christmas, like that's fine, right? And there's still people that do want to lose weight. There's still people that want to get healthy. There's still people that are looking for a business opportunity, but because there's a lot of noise out there, we got to 10x our efforts. So if you're just doing 1 power hour a day, I invite all of us to do three times a day, right? Also, if we're just waiting, we're really adding all this value, we're liking, commenting, and we're just waiting for the DMs to kick in. No, we got to show up on DMs. So I'm already doing this, but I invite you to make a list of like 100 people you see that fits your ideal client. And you're like, this girl, she would be so good as my PM and my future distributor. So make a list of 100. And then from there, you know how we have the little teacher rule book that we have? So in there, it's kind of like how you do your follow-ups with your clients. I know a lot of you already are doing this. So you're going to make a list of 100. And then you're going to put number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I'm doing. I'm showing you what I'm doing all the way to 10. And so on Power Hour, day number 1 today, those 100, you're going to show up and give them love. Okay. No emojis, like real conversation, real comment. And then check, I showed up once. And then what if you do Power Hour at 8 o'clock today? And then for the same 100 people, you check again. So on check number 10, okay, I showed up. Now we're homies. Now I get to invite you to something. I'm going to show up on your DM. Hey, girl. You know what I mean? One thing I would say also, like, can we do videos for them? So you know how you do on your story, a face to camera video, and then you send it to your whole story for everyone to see. You send it specifically to Maria. Hey, Maria, oh my gosh, we've known each other. I feel like I know you in person. I'm so excited to meet you one day. Hey, guess what? I got this challenge going on. I got a business opportunity and I just thought of you. So again, all of this, but how can we? So I have a 20 list client or prospect, but I'm asking all of us, let's 10x it. So that's 200. How about we 5x it to 100? But it's putting that effort, like really 10xing your efforts on social media, guys, and don't wait for people to start knocking. We need to be knocking. And then we taught this on Side Hustle School, guys, and this goes to all of us. We say videos, do reels, do IGTVs, be an expert, add value. Who does it? Who is doing it right now? And I want to see raise your hands, like who is doing it? We're adding pictures. So we're showing up as what is called thought leaders. Thought leaders, we do inspirational quotes. We're like, oh, this, all that, great. But how are you showing up as a teacher? Let me give you 3 tips on how to lose 5 pounds before Thanksgiving. And great, pictures are great, but videos, guys, do a reel, do an IGTV. Also, talk about network marketing. Why not? And you're like, voy a hablar. What am I going to talk about today? But if we prep, kind of like when you're going to do a training, like Kat did a training for us on Side Hustle, she took time to prep for that training and she killed it, right? That's how we got to prep for videos. But videos are going to bring a lot of people to the yard and they're going to see you as an expert. You're going to stand out from all the other Herbalife coaches, from any other network marketing company. So I just want to leave you there because we can talk forever. I hope that helped Tobin. I helped, that helped all of us.
That was really good. I took notes. All right. Anybody else have a question?
I don't have a question, but I would like to share something that I have been doing lately with the new distributors. Can I share really quick, Carla? I promote a lot the 3-day trials, right? So when I'm getting like a new distributor, this is something that I'm printing out for them. I'm doing this little paper right here, Las Hawaianas. And then I'm telling them, like print them out, go into, like the laundry places, the car washes, the Mexican stores, like go and like old school. This is how I have heard the old school people used to do it.
I got a president's team member from those Hawaiianas. So yes, that's what I'm like, girl. Yeah, my president's team member came from that.
So I got it and I was like, dude, I have it here. Why complicate? Let me try something. I have never done it. I printed out myself 10 and I have only take one. Okay, so since I'm doing this with the distributors, I'm telling them print out 10, go out. So let's see how it goes. I have not done it on 90-day plan yet, so this is going to be my first month doing it. So I'll put the flyer. You can always change it because the flyer, I have the actual original, and you can try that too, you know. So that's just a little tip of something new that I'm putting different.
I love that, you guys. So just to give you an idea, Leah, what I did back in the days, you know, we had not even MySpace was out when I first started Herbalife. And I did those, but mine were for the business. It said, you know, it said, do you speak Spanish? Hablas español. And then it said, would you like to make an extra income? Now we cannot put money, but mine was, do you want to make some extra income without interrupting your current schedule? And then it said for information and inquiries, and then it had the thing. So here's the tip though. Okay, you got to pull one or two because nobody wants to be the first. So you got to pull one or two off. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you 10 is not enough, but it's a good start. I used to do 50 every single day. Okay, now things are different now, okay, because I would like literally like post them in every single thing I saw in Sacramento, but you know, put them inside laundry mats and things like that, bus stops, anything that you like, you know, and I would go into businesses and say, hi, you know, I'm a local business here and I'm looking for people that are looking for a job. Can I put this somewhere where it doesn't bother you? And every place I would have like something and I would put it there. And now you just got to be ready to take those calls. Okay. You got to be ready to take the calls and you got to have something like Carmen just said to plug them into, which we do. And if you don't know, we have an HOM, recorded live HOM. But anyway, so we can go through that another day, but those Hawaiianas work like magic.
I would like to say something. Yeah. Okay. Guys, what's helped a lot, I work full time. So I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day, like 5 to 6 days a week. So one thing that's helped me to get the new is actually asking my preferred members or my current clients for referrals, right? So I let them know that they also have an opportunity that by them referring me customers, since they don't want to do the business, that I would be able to hook them up like with a cellulose or a small prolesa or something like that, like an incentive program for them to be able to send me customers. And what has actually happened is that those referrals have became preferred members of mine. So now I have like, let's say as an example, I have 4 all preferred members, but before I get that the referral started as a preferred member, I reach back out to the person who referred them to me, the preferred member, and I let them know that, hey, this girl wants to get signed up. Would you be interested in doing the business? So not only am I getting a referral, but now I have a higher chance of swapping someone from a PM to now a distributor and putting them in the funnel of being a distributor and teaching them how to grow their business. So because I'm very limited, I'm a mom of 6, I'm very pressed for time. I have to think and work smarter. And so I work like 2 hours before work. And then I work anywhere from 3 to 4 hours after I get off of work. And I understand that this business, this Herbalife opportunity, I don't treat it like a side business anymore. I don't treat it as a hobby. I took that out of my vocabulary. What I treat this as is I work, and I heard this from Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn, so I'm not taking the credit for this. I work full time. Wait, hold on. I'm getting nervous. Okay. I work super part-time on my Herbalife business with the full-time mentality. So that's what I do. I show up every single day as I am building my empire. And the minute that I started flipping that, one book that I'm currently actually reading and I'm listening to audio, I am listening a lot to GoPro, and where I want to be a professional Herbalife international distributor. So I love like everything that you guys share on here. Thank you so much, because I've learned so much about the thing with side hustle and all that. But a lot of your customers that are already in love with the product, they know people and they may just be embarrassed to share the message, or some of them may be embarrassed to even let people know that they're trying to lose weight. But I clearly tell all of my clients, guys, everybody is not here to lose weight. I have girls that just want to have energy. I have girls that just want to, drink collagen because they want their hair or their nails. So just be very flexible and understand that not everybody wants to lose weight. And that's helped me a lot with moving a lot of volume that has nothing to do with actually weight loss, but more like with the heart, like the cholesterol, like the like night works and the relaxation. A lot of people are stressed out, and Sleep Now is sold out right now, but like the relaxation tea, that has been a huge hit, and having people add that to their cart. So hopefully that helps. It's worked tremendously for me. It's helped a lot with my PMs, and I'm now teaching that to my distributors as well.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Who else? Does someone else have a question? I hope you guys are seeing the value, because I think one of the things, and this is something, sometimes we can train, right? But if there's like these questions or there's these roadblocks, it can hinder you. And I think the collaboration opens everyone up to just different ideas and thoughts. And you also have to understand your base, like your target, right? Like if your target, like I love what Leah said, just because maybe her target might not feel so comfortable doing the business a certain way. So it's like you start, looking for ways that will be duplicatable. Anyone else? No? Okay.
I have a question.
Go for it, Julie.
A question for my team. Let me think how I'm gonna ask it. Okay. So this person is full of ideas, amazing ideas, and has so much potential, but is having a hard time getting started. Like, does that make sense?
So they have the ideas, but they're just like, it's almost like you have the shoes, but you just don't put them out and go run.
Yes.
So I'll let Carmen answer as well. So I'm going to tell you guys something. Confession time. You ready? So you guys, I have been hearing about this damn 10-point book, and I've told my team about it. I had a whole training on it and everything. And I will tell you that yesterday, so I've been like in a little funk. Just like, I don't know. I was like, what's wrong with me? Right. And so what I did yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I looked at the book that the girls have. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't feel like I could execute on, I wasn't excited about what was on there, right? So what I did, right? So this person that's full of ideas, you can do it yourself too. What I did is I adjusted the things on here to fit what the DMO that I want to do. So for example, if this particular person is excited about whatever idea and they're not getting themselves to do it, put it on here. So I made my own. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to share it. Okay. It's nothing crazy, but I made my own. Why? Because then today I was telling Leah that I'm not cheap, but I kind of am a little like, I don't like to waste my money. So today I only had a few things, and I was like, I better get some things done porque I don't want this page to be blank for the day. So it got me to work. It got me to post, to follow up, to do a thingy. And like what I put on mine, like what Carmen said, I suck at reaching out to the polls. Like people will answer the polls and I forget. So I actually put it on here, answer the polls. So I made this to align with my personal ideas. So whoever that person is, or if you're one of them that has a lot of ideas, maybe you should create a 10-point system to be aligned with the ideas that you want to create, that you want to execute, and that way, like, hold yourself accountable. This thing cost me like $11. And I even put like a little, I'm not as creative, obviously, as you guys. I did 3 pictures. It was very simple, okay? But the point is take action, okay? So that's what I personally did. And that is what has gotten me, like, all day today, I actually like sat and worked, because I didn't want to leave the day with all these blank. I wanted to check off at least 5 things for my business. I know it's supposed to be 10, pero kudos to me for doing the 5, okay? So I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in, like, What do you do to get yourself to put on the tennis shoes and actually take a run when you have all these ideas, but you don't execute?
I think you're on point.
Okay, so I'll tell you one more thing. Something just came to me. I don't know why, something just told me to say this. Many times we don't take action because we don't even know where the heck we're going. Like we don't have a goal. So I don't know if you guys know this, but my husband challenged me, okay, and I really work well with those things. He challenged me to work out every single day. On Sunday, I didn't want to work out, but because I'm very clear about why I'm doing it, because he's taking me on vacation, okay, when I do it, he's taking me on vacation. If I didn't have that on my mind, I would have listened to my emotions. So something told me to tell you guys, like, if you find yourself not taking action, most likely it's because you don't have and I don't want to say your why, but you don't even know what is your reasoning. You don't have a motivation. When I first started my business, you guys, this is no judgment on anyone, okay? But I've never liked to live with anyone. I graduated from college and I was living with my mom and I was like, I need to get the heck out of here. And that was my big motivation. Okay, I needed and I wanted to live on my own. And then when my girlfriend moved in with me, I'm like, I can't do this. So those have been me being uncomfortable is what's gotten me to work. So for those of you guys, maybe, I don't know if that resonates with some of you, but maybe you're not getting yourself to do something like Diego said today was so perfect. He said so many times we reach our goals and we become, we conform, we get comfortable and we settle. And if that's where you want to be, that's great. But here's the other thing. He didn't say this, but I'm going to say this to you. Then you don't get to complain. Then you don't get to complain because you're conscious that you're comfortable. So that's okay. But if you're not comfortable, then you get to be like, all right, Sandoval, don't complain. Do something about it. Right. So I feel like sometimes we don't take action because we have we have no direction. We don't know why we're doing it. We have no specific goal, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Okay. It could be something as simple as you want a new phone. I don't know. Right. So find your reason. It's not only your why. I never had a why. I still kind of don't really. Okay. But I've always had reasons. Like I want to get out of my apartment. I want to buy a house. And I worked my butt off to be able to get into this home. Okay. And so every little thing has always been like, I'm uncomfortable. And only then do I get myself to move. So maybe you need to have, if some of you guys, if something is resonating with you, get together with one of your coaches or reach out to someone and be like, I don't know what the heck is wrong with me, or pick up this book. He'll get you to work. Okay, this guy, like, okay, I started listening to him today, maybe as you can tell. I was like, I need Grant Cardone and Mark Hughes in my life. But yeah, so something told me to say that. So number one, find a method that will hold you accountable. And number two, find that thing that's gonna, and sometimes you gotta feel sick of whatever to get you to move. And sometimes it's inspiration, but a lot of times it's desperation. And you gotta figure out which one is the one for you. Sometimes it's inspiration for me, but 99.99999% of the time, it's I gotta be sick of whatever to get me to move. So you gotta figure that out for yourself. And Mark Hughes and Grant Cardone or whoever motivates you every single morning, no matter what. Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, Karla's a bruja. She gets these intuitions. I love it. I think that answered their question, right? Okay. And any other questions?
Our team had a question. I mean, I don't know if we're good with time, or should we take it to next week? Can I ask or no?
Pues ya abriste el micrófono, dale.
Okay, so the mic. Okay, some of the girls from the team, they have a question on what will be the best way to explain to our supervisors the importance of royalties?
Why? Sorry, ask the question again. Why?
What will be the best way to explain the importance of royalties to our supervisors? A ver, en español, pues, ¿verdad? Porque mi equipo me preguntó en español. Ahí va. Sorry, you guys, we'll translate, okay? So, la pregunta es, ¿cómo poder explicarle al supervisor la importancia de la duplicación de una manera simple que ellos puedan entenderlo?
So the question is, how can you talk to people about building royalties in a simple way that they can understand it?
Ándale, yes, that's the question.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So is the video not simple, the one that Karla did? Is that one complicated?
I think for them, yeah. While my team was asking, while the girls were asking, I was listening to this networking audio, and what they said there was just like, what they said was, listen to what they're saying, because if they're not ready to understand the royalties, or they're not ready to grow, even though we do it by video, talk, or palitos and bolitas, they're still not gonna understand it. That will be something that I'm focusing myself, but I don't know if you girls have, like an answer also for that, because maybe we'll be different.
I'll chime in really quick. So I actually had a conversation with the Brent. She's about 200 volume points away from the supervisor. And so the way that I personally explained it, and so if your girls are on the call, this is what I would say. Number one, you got to ask whoever you're talking to, you got to ask them, like, what do they want? Like, okay, so why are you doing this business? Okay, porque I could tell you the importance of the royalties, but if, who's this here? Mariana, if I ask her, like, babe, why are you doing this business? I should find a supervisor. Okay, so I asked her. I said, Mariana, okay, so she's about to become supervisor. I'm like, okay, what do you want out of this business? If Mariana tells me, like, oh, and she says something small, then she might not be ready for that, right? And I can try to paint the big picture to her. But if Mariana says to me, like this girl Maria was like, what do you mean, girl? I want to make money. I go, yes, babe, but you can make money selling flowers in the corner. Okay, do you want to make the kind of money that you're working for all the time, or do you want to make the kind of money that works even though you're not working? So that's royalties, right? And she's like, what do you mean? I go, I didn't say that. I said, do you want to make the kind of money that will work even when because she's a mom, she travels with her daughter playing softball. I go, do you want to make the kind of money that even when you're traveling with your daughter playing softball, you're still making money? She's like, well, yeah, wait, how does that work? And that's how I explained it to her. Okay, so I explained it in very simple terms. I said to her, I go, look, babe, here's the deal, right? You're going to get someone on the products because they're going to fall in love just the way that you did. But look, right now, you're part of my team, right? So now everything that you're producing, you're making money. But guess what? I get this thing called royalties. And then I explain it like the music. I go, for example, Michael Jackson, he recorded a CD. And every time he duplicated that CD and somebody bought it, he would get a royalty. And guess what? We get paid exactly the same. Every time you have somebody on your team, I didn't say supervisor, they don't understand that. I said, every time you have somebody on your team, and every time that person sells a product or buys anything from Herbalife, guess what? You can be in Arizona with your daughter playing softball. Ching, you just got paid. And so that is what I want to teach you. I want to teach you how to, if you want to, I want to teach you how to build a team so that you get paid not only when you sell the products, but that you teach other women to make money and you get paid. And if you ever pass away, because one day God's going to pick you up, okay, your children can inherit that. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yes, girl, just like Michael Jackson died, somebody's cashing in on all those CDs. Guess what? We get paid exactly the same. And she was like, okay, girl, I need to sit down with you and I need to learn. But I only explained that to her because she told me she wanted to make a lot of money. But if Mariana, as an example, says, well, I just want to make an extra couple $100, I'm not going to, I could paint the big picture on her if I know that maybe she really does want more. but that's also like a little bit of a process, right? For example, Julie, at the beginning, she didn't want a lot. She wanted $200. And as she started to get exposed, my pitch started to increase, right? So you cannot give, I cannot give my son a 16-ounce steak when he's only 3 years old, right? So I think that, you got to see where they're at, and depending on that will depend on, depende del pescado va a depender de la suela. I don't know how you say that in English. Depending on the fish will depend on the hook, something like that. So that's the only thing I could tell you. That's how I always explain royalties. I compare it to like Michael Jackson or Selena or someone like that. They understand that. I hope that helps. Okay, you guys, I've had way too much tea and liftoff and CR7, okay? So, yeah, okay. So back to you, Miss Carmen.
No, I think that's perfect. And I put on there, but it's like, you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. So sometimes when you get so frustrated, there's a book that's called Talent is Never Enough. Because sometimes you're going to find people that are super talented and that you're going to think, oh my God, this person would do amazing. I can't believe they don't want to do the business. But it doesn't matter how great they are. If they're not willing to put in the work, if they're not willing to go into action, if they're not willing to work as a team, you're never going to see an athlete. Like, for example, even Kobe, that was Kobe, he couldn't have won a championship without a team, without a practice, without a coach. So you could be great, but if you're playing by yourself, you'll never win a championship. So I say that because sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to more for others than others want for themselves. So I just thought I would share that. Okay, so let's go into the training, yeah? So that way we can go through a couple of the points. I mean, this is training and I hope this is helping. But the points that we wanted to cover too on the volume. Are you blank, Karla?
Oh, I didn't know we were gonna do that. It's already 6:40.
Oh, okay. So
but yeah, I mean, we could. I didn't have anything prepared. Okay, here, I'll do it really quick. I'm sorry. I did not know we were doing that. So give me 1 second. Go ahead, talk, girl.
Okay, so we'll just do this really, really brief. So one of the things we wanted to cover was it's really important for you to understand how your volume is showing up, especially right now in these next 90 days. A lot of the work that you're gonna have to put in is your personal work. It has to be your personal production because you're the one that's in seeking and in searching mode, right? But sometimes we don't understand how our volume is coming in, and we can, misguide ourselves or mislead ourselves to think, oh, I'm doing the work because I have the volume, but is it really going to help me with my growth, right? So that's what we wanted to cover.
Okay, so I'm gonna take literally 2 minutes to do this. So if you guys look here, okay, so I'm gonna be really vulnerable. All right, so here's, by the way, I'm almost qualified to the Garden. Okay, anyway, so here's the deal, right? So you wanna look at this, okay? So one of the things that you wanna see, for example, if I have 1,400 volume points, okay, but where is that volume coming from? You wanna make sure your team also sees this, because look at this, personally purchased volume, 0. What does that say about Karla's this volume? I've got no new clients this month. This is not bueno, okay? Now, all my volume on this month was coming from my downline, which is a good thing. That means I'm recruiting, I have preferred members, okay, which is a good thing. But you gotta understand, and you go through here, you can go through here and look at your months. Because one of the things you want to make sure that you see is, now a lot of people, what they will have is they'll have a lot of personally purchased volume, a lot, and very little downline volume. So what does that tell me? That you're not duplicating, or that you're working really, 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 really hard, right? And most of that happens, those kinds of organizations are mostly in nutritional clubs. Like a lot of my nutritional club people, what happens is, they have a lot of personally purchased volume and not that much downline volume, okay? And like, for example, this is like really embarrassing, but I just like ran my report, and last month in my entire organization, we only had 3 in my first 3 levels, 3 new supervisors in my first 3 levels. see, I'm never going to get to 20K next year like that. Right. But if I don't look, if I just say, oh, yeah, my royalties were pretty good, you know, things look good. If you only look at the volume, you can fool yourself. So you got to look at how is that volume coming? How is that volume, you know, coming in? And is your team duplicating? I also looked at the brand new preferred members in my first 3 levels in last month. Not very good. Okay, so the volume looked good, but they're not duplicating. We're not bringing in new people. So if we're not bringing in new people, things are going to start to go like this and people are going to get burned out. So you want to make sure you go onto your BizWorks, go onto your volume, see the color charts and tell your team, go in there and look and see where your volume is coming from, because that's going to tell you a lot about where your business is going to be next year. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out, not only for yourself, but also for your downline.
Yeah, and you know, I think just to close it out, if you guys, we can, and you guys, if you have questions, you can reach out to your TAP team members, who you're working with. But you know, we have 7 weeks left, right, in the year of 2020, and Delphi just mentioned, you know, we have to 10x it, and the reason being is a lot of people are going to be hiding. A lot of people are going to be distracted, and so the reason why I wanted Karla to show that on the personal volume is we're teaching you guys how to like look at reports and how to recruit, and we're telling you strategies, but at the end of the day, honestly, it's all based on your leadership, and your production will carry through with everyone else. So, you know, time to 10x it for all of us, you know, and try to, like, all of us right now, you know, Karla's excited about Garen Jones. All of us in this call need to be in the Garen Jones call, because we need to lead from the front. By the way, I already qualified last week, so just kidding. But it's
That's
just,
it.
you know,
I'm purchasing product right now.
you have to challenge yourself, right? And that's like, we have to do it at our levels, because if not, we can't say what we're not doing, because at the end of the day, it can show. So with that, guys, you know, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, and just to close off, you guys, one more thing: don't hide, and it starts with us. It starts with us. A lot of us will forget. No problem. Remind your team, send those reminders, because we'll forget to tell someone and they're caught up. And during the holidays and during this time, more important than ever, make sure that you yourself don't hide. Because if you don't hide, then your team won't hide. Because, like, for example, I showed up to this call, so I was making sure my team was on the call. My royalty team was on this call, you know? So if I'm not on the call, I'm definitely going to forget that whether they're on the call or not. So no hiding November, she said. Okay.
All right, guys. So with that, thank you guys so much. Have a lift off and a tea so you could be like Karla and be.
No, girl, it's CR7 and lift off. Get it right.
We got to 10x it, girls. So let's go. Let's do this.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.